I'm curious about your experience of the dynamic at virtually any level you'd like to respond to about the masculine and feminine interplay in the world.
In order for us to be a balanced culture, it has to be unification. And so that doesn't necessarily start with man and woman, it starts within. So it's all about alchemy, inner alchemy. And it starts with the masculine and feminine, which is within all things. Of course, it took two to create us. It took a man and a woman to create us. So therefore, on a soul level and on a cellular level, we are all male, female. And so as a goddess worshiper, I realized all of the things that I had just mentioned, and that my personal missing link was my connection to God. You know, there are so many things that happen in our past lives that have imprinted us in a way to, well, for myself, fear that word and not understand necessarily the goodness that it really does hold. And so what I've done now is on my altars, I create space for man and woman, God and goddess, sun and moon or earth, and whatever it is that people consider to be representing the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So it's the inner alchemy, right? It's the dual, it's the Ida and Pingala, the left and right, the mother and father, all of these things that have to happen on the inner realms first, and then it's going to show up in the outer realms. So that's my little piece for harmonizing male-female, is that really what we need to do is just focus in on ourselves and learn how to cultivate and then maintain that connection to divinity, because we are a direct reflection of divinity. So if we see little glitches out here, we have no right to point fingers and say, you know, that person's not doing it right, or look at the world, or anything like this. We are the world. And so just dropping in, ho'oponopono, you know, dropping in and taking full responsibility for that which we see on the outer realms, because we're creating that. So there's a lot of inner reflection that needs to happen, and really dropping in to see what's going on your inner landscape, and fixing things or healing or growing on that level so that it shows up in the outer realms.
There have been a few surprises to me of the consistency from women from a number of different circles, not knowing one another, not knowing each other's jargon and experience at all. And they'll fairly consistently talk about pain, literally the word pain, over and over again with regard to the men in their lives not meeting them. That there's they don't feel safe, or at the very least they're not met.
For me, it's all personal. It's so relative to the individual, depending on what their personal experience is. Pain, yeah, sure, but it can't be, you know, pinned on a man. You know, pain is pain, and we create our own pain. We create, you know, pain is a reaction. You know, it's like you have an experience. The universe can give you any kind of experience, but it's up to you. Depends on how you're going to react to that experience. It really counts. So there's the kind of soul depth that we are all feeling like in the collective consciousness. Yes, but again, that's something that needs to just be embraced, rather than blame or pointing the finger at or anything like this. So when women fully take responsibility for putting their offering and their blood back into the earth, it's going to shift all of this instantly. That's why this is the most important thing that we could do as a culture, is return that blood to the earth and reclaim the time as sacred, whether you're a man or woman, just honoring that, because it really truly is the missing link for our entire society. You know, it doesn't really matter where you are in the world. We need to get connected back to divinity, back to our source, back to Mother Earth. And then when we do that, it's going to give everyone a whole new sense of self. So I would just like to focus in on what's next, what's now, what can we do differently. On some soul level, you contracted to have a particular lesson. It ended up showing up like that. So the real truth is for people to do their inner work so that these intense experiences stop happening, and then we can't continue blaming. And no one has really done anything wrong because it's all a part of divinity. And divinity, you know, actually Earth itself, to me, Earth is like school. So our soul has kind of come down into the garden, put on this beautiful spacesuit so that we can move around in this dense realm and have the ability to smell and taste and feel the physical pleasures and also the pains. And that is how we learn and how we grow. So I often ask people, because I do spiritual guidance sessions, and they express these sort of things to me that you're asking about, and then I say, well, listen, like, would you really have dropped within if you didn't experience that pain? Would you really have been asking these questions about self-growth? Maybe not. So to me, pain is a voice from spirit. It's a form of teaching, and so it's actually a gift. When you experience a pain or an emotion or something that kind of hurts, it's a blessing because spirit is showing you what you're worth. And so you have the ability to drop in and see what that's all about, right? So Earth is like school. We've taken on this experience to dive into those places to learn and grow so that we can move beyond. I mean, this is only the third dimension. We have so much more to go. And, you know, Buddha said to be born is to suffer. I don't want to necessarily project that, but it just means that we sense, we feel, and there's a lot of range of emotions to experience here. So pain isn't necessarily wrong or bad. It depends on what you do with it.